Hello to all the comic fans, Marvel geeks, and all the nerds in between. Welcome to another episode of the Vigilante Vibes podcast, where we talk all things Marvel, along with other fandoms, but without the toxicity that's taken up way too much space in each and every fandom. I'm your host, Megan Nicole, and we're here to have another episode of Elevating the Nerdy Voices of the Rainbow, where we lift up the voices of the LGBTQ plus communities. Today, I have Scotty joining me, and I'm very excited to talk to you.
Hey everybody, how's it going? You also have a very good radio voice.
I do?
Yeah, I guess you've
Oh,
done this for a while, so
a
it was
years.
very clear and smooth. I don't know.
Oh, think 2 years, but I talk all the time. Way too much, some would say.
I just noticed a couple months ago there's certain words that I mispronounce or say with an inflection that I didn't realize.
Like what?
Well, the issue is my last name is General. When I get to the they don't know what I'm saying, and I have to describe the letter, as in for radio, and then they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, I don't know how else to describe it.
Well,
It's very,
I can understand it.
yeah.
You did well.
Okay, nice, nice.
So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about you?
Yeah, I was about to say my name. I'm like, I just said my name. I'm a big Marvel fan. I've been a Marvel fan for most of my life, like most of my life that I remember at least. I'm an artist. I've been also been an artist since childhood. I was born with cerebral palsy in my legs, so I do have some troubles walking. That was actually part of why I'm becoming a superhero. My ears going, my legs are going, my eyes are going, like everything's going. But then I've learned, and my tattoo was the camera. Oh, it's backwards. It says almost ordinary,
Oh,
basically saying I'm mint condition. I'm just that rare condition that nobody else finds. I'm also a left-handed writer, so that even adds to the rarity. And I also have green eyes, so that adds to the rarity. And I've always accepted that I've always been different. I'm the youngest of four. I have two stepsisters and a half brother, but I've just always been kind of I guess the odd duck out, but I've accepted that's me. I'm the different one. Like, yeah, my sister is an artist as well, but nobody in my family is as big into Marvel as me. Nobody's as big into video games as me and my family. I'm just a like I either go all into it or I don't go into it at all. But I do like trying at least everything once. That's actually kind of a major thing about me is I if I try it and I don't like it, then I know that I've tried it. If I watch a show or read a book and I'm just not really into it, I don't force myself to finish it. I go on to the next thing. Just kind of for anything like food wise. If I try the food once and I was like, didn't really like that, or if I try a certain hairstyle, like I won't go to that. I've always had long hair, but I tried to go like just under my ears and it looked really weird, so I'm like, I don't want to do that again. But the other thing is I've done a buzz cut just because I wanted to try it, and my hair grows so thick and fast that I'm like, it's hair. I don't care. Like I'm on this earth for however long. I hope a long time, but we'll see.
so you want to try everything once. What's something that you thought you wouldn't like, but you did like when you tried it?
Ooh, that is a loaded question. Ooh, actually, the first thing that pops in my head is rollerblading. Holy. Because of my cerebral palsy, I don't have the greatest balance, so I actually don't know how to ride a bike. But I tried roll the not the blade, but the four wheels. I don't know what that would be called.
Skating, I guess.
Just roller
Just
skating,
skating,
yeah.
I guess.
And it was easier for me because I actually had balance instead of the blades where I'm topsy turvy the second I stand up. But with the four wheels, it allowed me to find my center of gravity, and I was able to actually like find my stride of things. And I had more fun with that than I would have thought. and I actually would like to try it again. I forget where I tried it. I think I tried it somewhere outside of Toronto.
Well, that's really cool. So
Yeah.
you said you're a big Marvel fan. We can't not talk about Daredevil Born Again.
It honestly, I wasn't the biggest Daredevil fan. I think because back in the day when they made all of the shows, I was more into the movies because I didn't have time to sit down for a show of how many episodes. Movie 3 hours done, and then I can move on to another one. But I've always been a fan, just not that big of a fan to like look into him and read the comics and stuff like that. But the Punisher was always one of my top five favorites, and I think that kind of helped get me more into the Daredevil. I mean, I also have a Marvel tattoo as well.
Oh,
It's
you
kind of
have the Avengers one. That's so
yeah.
cool.
I didn't realize that they all had that until I got this, but I'm the only one who actually has Loki's horns and Scarlet Witch's horns. They just have the insignia in the middle. But yeah, it was a way better episodes than I thought, and I'm glad they kept with the without spoilers. They kept with the I guess the violent tone of everything. Like they
You
didn't
can you can spoil it. It's fine.
Oh,
It
okay.
came out last night, but this will come out in a few weeks.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I was a little disappointed I didn't see the Punisher, but I get it. I get it's the Punisher. They want to create the is he actually in the show? When are we going to see him? But what I hope they don't do is he appears in like the last 20 minutes of the last episode. Like let's introduce him, let's then see him for a couple episodes cuz that was the thing about the Marvel extra scenes is they're like, oh, here's this character, and then we see him for 5 seconds. It's like, no, you know this character's popular. Why wait for a whole another movie? Give us at least 30 minutes of action, just like the Spider-Man movie. It was a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, but they brought in the other two halfway through the movie. Okay, great. Now we got screen time with them. Okay, but it's still a Tom Holland movie, which I really appreciated that they did that.
With the Punisher, from what I can tell in the trailers, it seems like Daredevil's like kind of seeking out help, which makes sense if Fisk puts a ban on vigilantes because that includes Punisher. But Punisher's also getting his own special presentation coming this year too. So I don't know what they're setting up for, but I'm stressed and excited.
It's interesting because in one of the scenes when Fisk is looking down at the crowd, there's a white light behind him, like saying like he's an angel, and there's like a halo I think that appears, and then when you go look down at the Daredevil, he's down, he's on the ground, and there's red lights behind him, and I'm like, oh, maybe he's becoming the good bad guy, and then that's how it asks Punisher for help because the Punisher, from at least my knowledge of the movies, I should read the comics. I have nothing against reading the comics. I just it's a lot to to get into the comics. But from what I've learned from the Punisher is he has nothing to lose. He has nothing to gain. He kind of just likes beating the shit out of people. Like, that's mainly what he does.
I will say that the Daredevil comics are some of the best comics I've ever read. Spider-Man's my favorite guy, but Daredevil comics are so dark, so deep. It's like, do you know about Karen Page? Do you only know about her in the MCU?
I don't even think I know about her in the MCU.
So in the show, they have her like the secretary, this spunky girl who's doing all this investigating and has her head on straight. Abso-freaking-lutely not. In the comics, she's actually turns into a heroin addict and does porn, and then gets killed by Bullseye because she finally turns her life around, wants to help Matt, and then he kills her because she jumps in front of a bullet for Matt. So it's like there's so much about these characters that is so wild. But like with Foggy, he's always just been a good friend and didn't deserve what happened to him.
Yeah, I was like, oh, cool, the original cast is back, and he's dead. I'm like, nah, well, shit. I'm like, but my first reaction, I'm like, why does that guy seem very familiar? I'm like, oh, it's from the oh, like, sick. They brought the cat. 15 minutes later, gets shot in the heart. Not even like, oh, he got shot in the hip. Like he could survive. No, directly in the heart. Like, okay, well, you shot him in the heart, and you shot us in the heart.
Exactly. Well, Bullseye's whole thing is like he doesn't miss. So if he wants to kill you, he's going to kill you.
Yeah.
But Brad Winderbaum, who is ahead of Marvel Television, just said this morning that him and Karen will be in the next season. So it's like, is it flashbacks? Where are we going with this?
Yeah. Or because they're doing the whole multiversal thing. I don't know if they're gonna do the multiversal thing with Daredevil, but there was a. Oh wait, maybe I was watching the Spider-Man cartoon. I was watching the Spider-Man. I was mixing up shows in my head. But I don't know if they're gonna do the multiversal thing with Daredevil because it's, well, I guess they started to do it with Iron Man. Like because I'm basing it off of Daredevil. He's just a guy. He's a blind guy who's has fighting skill. He doesn't have any powers. He doesn't.
Well,
He's Batman basically.
he does have powers.
Yeah.
So the stuff that blinded his face, they don't really ever go into it in the show,
Yeah.
but the stuff that blinded him was radioactive and it got into his bloodstream. So all of his senses are heightened to a supernatural level and his fighting skills.
Oh, okay. That actually helps. I feel like I should change my. Instead of saying I'm a fan of Marvel, I'm a fan of the MCU. Because like I've tried to do like Marvel trivia, and it's like I don't know this question, I don't know that question, I don't know this or that. And they're like, "You're a terrible Marvel fan." I'm like, "Well, I guess yes, but."
I think if you're a Marvel fan, you like Marvel characters, you like Marvel stories. You don't have to read the comics. You don't have to watch the movie. I know people who've never seen an MCU movie. They only read the comics, and they're a Marvel fan.
Fair. I went to go see the new. I guess we'll talk about this also, but the new Captain America.
What did you think?
It was good, not great, but only because there's so many other things. Why the first Captain America was great is because that was it. There was Iron Man, and there was Captain America, and the Hulk, I guess, around the same time, and that was it. And they weren't connected to each other. They were their
Thor.
own.
And
Thor, yeah. They were their own stories, but they were these grand, big things, but they didn't connect yet. But why I still loved the new Captain America because it did help usher in the new Captain America in his own way. And I really hate when people keep calling him, oh, Captain Falcon, the Black Captain America. It's like it's not about the skin color. It's about the icon. It makes me think of it had unrelated to anything Marvel. Death Proof? No, Death Race. Death Race, I think. Basically, there was a guy in it that the character kept dying, but the person wore a mask, so you couldn't actually see who was under the mask. And they're like, it doesn't matter who the driver is. It matters that the image is still alive. So I relate that to Captain America. He's got the shield. The image is there. It doesn't matter if it's Vision. It doesn't matter if it's an alien. It doesn't matter if it's the Hulk. Like, as long as that star is there, it represents America. But it was interesting that, I know it's in the comics, but it was interesting that it was Sam Wilson who is a African American, and then they related that whole thing. Then it introduces what's his name, the very first Captain America.
Eli.
Yeah, and it was interesting of like how much basically shit that he had to go through, and then they had Chris Evans Captain America, and he's this star-spangled amazing guy, nothing wrong, he can't do wrong. But it's like, you just beat the shit out of the very first Captain America just because he was different and wasn't the stereotypical look of what they wanted the Captain America to be. I'm also glad too, because I was rewatching the Winter Soldier show. I'm glad they did give the shield away, but didn't go on for like 20 episodes of like, who, like, is he gonna give the shield back, is he not? And I'm very excited for Thunderbolts, just to see how that kind of continues the legacy of John Walker and Bucky, and what we learned from the new movie is Bucky's now in politics.
Yeah. I really want a vote for Bucky shirt or a Bucky 2025 shirt. I
Now
think
I'm
that
just
would.
trying to think of like a good slogan. Like,
Oh my gosh. I don't know, but I want to know. But I am curious, how did we get here, Bucky? Where last we saw you it was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How did you jump from needing a therapist every day or you're going to jail to like congressman or senator, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Imagine
wild.
going from a hypnotized Russian soldier who is 100 years old to
Hmm.
now working in Congress, and like a dedicated like he everything is resolved. He's good now. Like,
Meanwhile, we're all holding grudges from someone who didn't open the door for us at a grocery store last week, and here he is. Like,
yeah,
that's wild.
he basically lost his arm, lost his friend actually at the same time. I still remember, like, to me, the Winter Soldier movie is probably one of the top tier movies that
Oh yeah.
Marvel has made because of the surprise, and they didn't that's I think what Marvel is missing now is they the how do I describe it? We as the fans find out the secret that you're finding out right then and there. Like with when seeing Bucky's face, that we were seeing that for the first time. If people saw that in a side scene or something, people were like, oh, that's Bucky, and then people would talk about it and spoil it for people. It was nice that it was like, okay, here's Bucky. Now we're going. Now, Steve Rogers is like, wait, that was Bucky, my long childhood friend. That like, now he's evil. Like what? And I liked that they made it. I know it's probably again in the comics, but I liked that they made it his friend because the morals of Captain America isn't I'm gonna just follow what America tells me. I'm going to listen, but probably do what I want to do at the end of the day. That's why John Walker never worked because he didn't have that morale conflict. It was just whatever I get told, I'm gonna do, like a soldier. But Steve Rogers was a soldier, but he disagreed with most of what they did.
So Bucky in the MCU, he's actually like a mixture of Bucky and someone named Arnie in the comics.
Hmm.
Arnie, Captain America, Steve Rogers, he would get bullied relentlessly, and Arnie would step in and help. Bucky was the Winter Soldier, but the thing about Arnie was that he was all for gay rights, everything. And when Arnie died, Captain America made this like safe house for kids who are going through these emotions and don't have any place to turn to keep gay kids, trans kids, all these kids safe in his honor.
Mhm. I actually did learn about that. That's one of the positive things about the internet.
Yeah.
Is people post that stuff, and then I'm like, oh, cool. Like I'm glad that was in the comics, and that's probably an older comic too. So
Yeah.
like I'm like, great. That's actually way more progressive than I would have thought in just my years of life. But I'm glad. That's why I think more people like Marvel. And somebody was actually, oh, I just actually watched a video about the creator talking about why his characters are so relatable because they're normal things like Spider-Man. He has a thing that makes him swing instead of like Superman. He's just flying. Like he just starts flying. He doesn't really have like a jetpack. He doesn't have jet boots. He just goes. But with the characters in Marvel, they have a reason. They have a scientific reason to why they do these things. Like the Hulk. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Uh, Basically, like a vial of whatever turns him into a monster instead of just him being a monster.
Oh, the gamma
Like,
radiation.
yeah, yeah. It was a thing. It was a realistic thing that turned him into this monster. That's actually why I really love the Last of Us show and game because that zombie thing is actually real. the bug is actually a real bug in real life. Yeah, and how
Oh, wait. You can't just say that and move on. Wait a
so
minute.
the zombie bug that's in the show is actually a real bug. The only reason why it wouldn't be able to fully take over a human is because the world is too cold. But the world is getting warmer, and that's what they explained in the show. Is that everything that happened? Well, how the show starts is actually could actually happen, which is very scary because it's this tiny bug that can take an animal and turn it into a zombie and then infect something else. But it why it can't is because the weather. But because of global warming, we're getting warmer. The ice is melting and snow is lasting less and less. And people are like, yeah, more summer. And I'm like, no, I'm Canadian. We should have cold. We are at the top of the world. We need more cold than summer. And but yeah, that can actually happen.
Well, I'm never sleeping again.
You are welcome and good day.
Oh my gosh. So you are excited for Thunderbolts. What about Fantastic Four?
I've always been a big Fantastic Four fan. I most people, I didn't enjoy the 2015 one. I'm a Miles Teller fan. Actually, I'm not a huge Michael B. Jordan fan. He plays very like maybe it's just the role, but very cocky. Though I did really enjoy his uh, the Marvel Black Panther
Oh yeah, Killmonger.
Killmonger. Yeah, he played a really he played a really good role as the Killmonger because again it was relatable. He was a kid from the streets. He got left behind. Doesn't know this world, but knew that he was always different, but he didn't know how. And then let it finally figured it out. But then the power got to his head, and then at the end he actually was a good person and had a hero's death. God, I'm forgetting the Black Panther. All I can think of is Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, T'Challa?
T'Challa let him have a hero's ending. Like, let him look into the sunset and do a quick death. And that's why these characters are more relatable. I feel like I got off away from the question. Now I forget the question.
Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I really enjoyed the first one because it was a different way of seeing how they got their powers, but it was more scientific than I think a lot of people would have thought. I watched the first one all the time, thank you to Disney Plus, but I watched that one all the time. I liked the second one, but I can understand why people didn't like it, and I can understand why they moved on. But there was actually Marvel tried to buy the Fantastic Four rights before 2015. I remember seeing an article saying that it was almost happened, and then all the comments were like, "Oh, who would have been the cast then?" And that's always interesting to see. But I'm very much excited for the new Fantastic Four. And who isn't a fan of Pedro Pascal?
True.
If you're not a fan of Pedro Pascal, I think you need to go under a rock again because that guy is amazing. Honestly, in anything any movie he does, he's amazing. And I didn't realize that he has very bad social anxiety.
I don't think he does. I like if you've seen him in interviews, everything, he is the light of the room. He is the one. He is that guy. But then they have pictures of I think they kind of put that out there themselves because I think they're really trying to sell the married couple look. So that's why they're always holding hands, hugging, leaning on each other. So I think they want us to see, oh, look how cute they are together. They're going to be great. That's what I think. I think Marvel puts
Fair.
out a lot of these rumors themselves.
Yeah, there is a couple of videos I saw where like he kind of goes to reach for somebody, and then Vanessa Kirby is the closest one to him and grabs his hand. But I forgot what I was going to say. My brain instantly went to another thought of just the trailer of like they picked the right characters. I was hesitant on the trailer, not the theme of it, but Like the it seems similar to the 2015 the one part in the movie where like they tried to copy the previous Fantastic Four, and it seemed like that's what I was getting from this new trailer, that they seemed like they were copying the 2015 one. It's like, no, let's just get past that. Let's do our own thing. But I liked how they explained the characters of like, yeah, Ben wasn't always a rock, but he has been the rock of the group. I'm like, that's a cool way to explain that. And like Johnny, he's always been the hothead of the group. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's true. Like what we've learned from the other movies, and like what I'm gonna understand from Vanessa Kirby's character is that she's probably the behind the shadows person, the invisible person, the one that doesn't want to be in front of the crowd of things.
See, I have a theory as to why they did that stuff in the trailer. It's if you look at Vanessa Kirby, she is clearly pregnant. And they removed the bump. Like watch the video, watch the part where they're walking in the kitchen and they're like, "We have dinner every week." You could see her waddle. She's missing a baby bump.
Interesting. I'm gonna pause. For, I realized my fan was on because I noticed the purple box around my head was not turning off.
Oh.
That didn't do anything.
Don't worry, I could take that out. It's not a big deal.
Honestly, I think my fan is backwards, so that hot is cold and cold is hot, and I can never remember.
Well, you will remember at some point when it's too hot or too cold.
That's true.
But yeah, I think she's pregnant. I think we're about to get baby Franklin, who is super overpowered. The name now makes sense. First steps. I think they're about to do some weird stuff with it, and I'm so happy about it because Fantastic Four is Kevin Feige's favorite characters.
True.
He's 100% going to take it as hard as he can.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited because what I hope too happens. We obviously saw Galactus, I think. But I'm hoping it's not the last 5 minutes of the movie. I want a big Galactus fight scene, and I want them to get into the multiversal stuff. I don't want an extra scene of, oh, here's what could happen if we walk in. No, walk in. Like, I want to see it now. Like, I don't want to wait two movies of you explaining and scientific reasons and like, ooh, if we walk in, we might die. It's like, well, that's the risk I'm willing to take. Just walk in. Like it's Marvel. Somebody's gonna die. You're gonna bring them back anyway, so it doesn't matter.
True. I think they're going to only see him for a minute or so. And then I think the Silver Surfer is going to be like, he's eating your planet. Come with me. I'll take you to another planet. And then they're in 616.
True. I'm just imagining that one like civilian just sees the only heroes of his time leaving. It's like, what? Well, I guess fuck me. Like,
I never thought about that.
He's just like there with his family. He's like finally having a good day. Like finally gets a job and gets some money. He's like, oh come on.
There's just Galactus, and he's like,
fuck.
Like
that the giant hand comes down and squishes him. He's like, you know what? At least it's a quick death. Like
this might as well happen.
Yeah. And then the guy next to him gets $2 million. Like
it's just there's always that guy, and if it has to happen, I'm glad it's not me. I'm glad it's that guy.
Yeah, true.
So what else are you looking forward to?
It's also a loaded question because I typically don't remember things unless I see it and I like keep refreshing my website to see if any more information comes, or I'll just see it when they make the big announcement and the trailer comes out. But I actually have really enjoyed the cartoon Spider-Man show, and a lot of people are like, oh, they made a black what's his name? They made a black Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn, and I'm like, so what? Like it doesn't matter. They're in a different universe. Obviously, this Spider-Man got his powers differently, and they actually explained how in the latest episode. And it was actually a very interesting of how they did that. And it's cool because what they did correctly was they introduced iconic characters. But because it's the multiverse and all of these things, they can alter them a little. They can change the race. They can change how they look. They can change the powers slightly. As long as, like I said before, as long as the name and everything is still, like, the icon is still there, people will know that, oh, that's Harry Osborn. Oh, that's the Green Goblin. Oh, that's the Hulk. Like, as long as you don't change the name and change the complete color set and call it by the same name, people won't recognize that. It's the symbols that they will recognize.
Yeah, plus it makes sense that he's black because in the comics he is a white guy with waves in his hair, and now it makes sense. The hair makes sense.
Yeah. And that's the only two black characters. Like, I get it's one of the bigger characters, but he's also a big side character. Like, it's not like they changed they made Miles Morales and called him Peter Parker. Like, that wouldn't make sense to me because then you're combining two characters. You might as well just have both. But that's the only two characters, and that was it. Nobody else is black as far as I remember. Everybody else is pretty much the same. Well, I guess Liz, not Liz. My brain was thinking of Spider-Verse. Dr. Connors is a female, but again, so what? Like, she lost an arm. She's gonna turn into a lizard anyways. Like, it doesn't matter. Have you seen a female lizard? It's not like they have boobs or anything. Like, they just look like a lizard.
Exactly.
Maybe a slightly different shade, but
I thought Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was fantastic. I think it was something that was written for comic fans, but if you're not a comic fan, you can still enjoy it, which I think that should be how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate the little things in it of the comic fan can be like, oh, that's from the comics, and that little thing, that reference, and that and that and that. And then me as just a strict MCU fan, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then watching now throughout the 10 plus years, 15 plus years, I'm like, oh, that was from this movie, that was from this movie, that, like, now I get to be that reference guy because of the movies of 15 plus years. I remember too, my old roommate wasn't a big Marvel fan, but for COVID, him and his girlfriend watched every single Marvel movie leading up to Endgame. And just before they started it, I had like a Marvel like sweater on, and I'm like, I had a whole speech prepared, and I'm like, we can't just watch the movie, we have to experience it. This was 15 years in the making, and it was all of the characters coming together like a big momentum moment. And I felt like the speech was great. They didn't seem to care that much, but you know what? It didn't matter.
Well, the audacity.
Yeah, how dare these new Marvel fans not like my speech that I definitely didn't prepare in the moment.
It came from your heart, and the least they could do was clap.
Yeah, true. How dare they?
How dare they? So we're kind of getting to the end of the episode. I know you have a podcast. I'd love to hear about your podcast. Yeah,
so it is called Touching Glass Podcast. The second I came up with the name, I'm like, this rhymes so much, and I love it. I mainly talk about sports, but again, I don't really care. Like, we can talk politics, we can talk the weather, like, we can talk your dog. I don't care. I only started it because I'm a big sports fan, and I knew I had a lot to say on sports stuff. And my recent podcast that I actually just uploaded yesterday was about video game sports, because we're in the middle of a sports season right now, and I figured, well, I'm a big video game guy. I have a lot to say on this topic. I'll just do an episode on this. Other episodes have been my streams of video games and me just talking over that. One episode I had my brother on. I don't remember what we talked about because we instantly got off topic.
So do you guys talk about the UFC at all?
We can. I don't, and I'm very surprised I don't, because I like UFC. I know, so I've watched it for a couple of years, not lately, and for some reason I've gotten back into WWE as well. But yeah, I would and I will. That made sense.
If you ever have an episode, you should invite me on, because I watch every Saturday.
Oh, sick. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't gotten back into it. Like, I remember watching it with like Chuck Liddell and I was gonna say Road Dogg, but that's not his name. There was somebody named Dog, I think, big black guy. Don't remember his name. Bald. Like I don't know, forget his name. And then Forrest Griffin, who I just remember he had the bad cotton ears.
Yeah. Oh,
I always remembered that.
those freak me out.
Yep.
But yeah,
I strictly remember that from the UFC game too. That I'm like, oh, that's Forrest Griffin because of the ears.
does he have it in the game too?
Yeah, because
Oh.
he's standing this way so you can like see the whole thing, and you're like, that's a bad pose for you, Forrest
That's
Griffin.
rude.
Yeah, that's actually how I became fans of those sports, because through the video games, I learned the players, I learned the names, I learned ins and outs of things. My dad actually thinks that I should get a job in sports because I know the ins and outs of a lot of things. I love when the drafts happen. I love when teams get to pick their players. I love when free agency happens and trade deadline. I got two monitors. I got everything like on the monitors and like all set up, and I'm like all over Twitter. I'm like, I want to be the first to break the news for things. I wish they would actually bring back the UFC. It was like the training UFC show.
Oh, the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
they
that
have
actually?
it. They have it now, and Chael is a coach with DC.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, I should watch that. They have a similar type of show, but for WWE.
Oh, do they really? I didn't know
Yeah, it's on. It just was it's like brand new. There's only 3 episodes. It's on Crave and Prime. I think
Oh.
they'll Crave initially.
that. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's actually quite good. Some of the coaches are like big time names, and they're like, oh, it's the one of the Dudley boys and Mickey James and Booker T. I'm like, oh, Booker T, that's sick. And then they're like, then the final coach is The Undertaker. I'm like, what? Like, that's a huge time coach. Like he was one of the biggest staples of the WWE of when I watched.
Oh, wow. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening to this episode, just look in the show notes and you will see all the links to where you can find Scotty and his, what is it, Touching Grass podcast?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that.
Apparently,
those
sorry.
I was about to say those so fun to say.
Oh, it honestly it is. Though there is a couple, so my icon is it's a blue sky and grass.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Well, I'll make sure before I post it. So, thank you for coming on. This has been so much fun. We finally get to know each other because we've talked a little bit back and forth in my
Yes.
Facebook group, the Nerd Haven, and it's nice
Yep.
to actually like talk to you.
Yes, yeah. There's and then I heard the news of I forget his name, who stopped doing the podcast with you. I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. Like,
It's
I don't know what
been-
happened, and
It's been amazing without him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it has. Like you obviously are still posting. You're obviously still active. So
Even more so now, he always wanted to have like one episode a week, and that's it. And then he was upset that we weren't making money from it, and I never did it for money because it's like, you're not going to make money on a podcast.
yeah, it's quite hard. Like, I just looked because I was curious on when I would start making on YouTube, and it said you have to get at least like 1,000 subscribers before they even you even start making like a little bit.
That's not even the hard part. You have to have so many people watching per video for a certain amount of time. It's like, it's never going to happen. Just do it for
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
It's whatever. But
Yeah.
no, it's been so much more fun now because I get to do things like this. Like, I
True.
would never have been able to do this without someone bitching about it. But
Yeah.
this has been so much fun with you.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
and it is
anytime.
nice when. Oh, thank you. It is nice too that you can just do it. Like, and if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. Like,
Yeah.
it's now strictly your decision.
Yeah, it's mine. I do whatever I want with it. So,
Yeah,
and I've met so many people doing it, like you.
yeah.
All right. So, thank you for listening to this episode of Vigilante Vibes. Wherever you're listening to this episode, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my amazing guests like Scotty or any future episode. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a marvelous night.
I